Right, so now we are discussing about a string and string builder. There is a main difference between a string is immutable. Immutable means that uh, whenever you are like modifying in your string object, it will create a new copy in the memory. Vice versa, a string builder cannot make a new copy in the memory when you are appending anything in a string builder object. So in short, in a string builder, if you add something, or you can say that if you subtract something, or you can concate something, whatever, like apply any function on the string builder, there is no object created in the memory. It is still working on the same object. In a string, it will create new objects. That's why it's called immutable. All right. So, what is different between array to copy and clone? This is also a very interesting question. If you are going for like .NET interview, surely they will ask you about this question. Like array to copy, in short, array to copy, in short, you can say that is used for copying the array objects, but clone, it's like contain like is it copy all the structure and all the thing, and it's make a clone of that array. All right, so now move forward to the next thing. Sort and reverse is like if you are going to sort your list or array, you can use a sort, and reverse is same use for like descending or ascending sort to reverse the array. All right, so try catch is not going to ask someone. Difference between interface and abstract. This is important. Um, All right. So in interface, like we all know that we can just define declare the methods, and the methods all are public. And if we want to use that methods, you we need to define it when we are going to implement and inherit with that interface with another class. So in abstract, it's you can say that you can make private functions as well as public functions, and it's not necessary to use all the abstract functions in the abstract class. You can use normal functions as well, normal methods, and you can declare when we use an abstract keyword with any functions, you just declare that functions. We use that function when we are going to implement that abstract class. We define that function there. So there are like some difference, but that's why they are called like abstract classes and fully abstract interface class. So um, circular reference. This is also very important thing people ask. It shows that you have experience about like how things are working in .NET. Circular reference is a situation in which two or more resources are interdependent on each other, causes a lock condition, and make the resources unusable. So in short, like it's a diamond shaped problem. Like suppose we have class A, and it is like class B is inherited from class A, and class C as well inherited from class A. So both the resources, both the like B class or C class are trying to access the resource. I'm going the wrong thing. Uh, Diamond shape problem. Can we search it? Just give me a sec here. Uh, all right. So what I'm saying here, like just suppose we have a class A and class B, class C, and class D. Class B is inherited from class A, and class C is inherited from class C, and the the class D is inherited from class B and class C. So now the problem occurs when class D trying to access anything from class B or class C, so it will be confused for the compiler because these classes are also inherited from class A. So it cannot understand the compiler that you are trying to access from class B or class C because you are trying to reach class A. So compiler that confused because the same functionality you write in class A, which is like using class B and class C. So class D is confused like what part we can choose to access class A functionality. This is the diamond shape problem. Now we move back to our C sharp. Generics is an important thing, but it's like you need to understand that whenever like you are writing a functions, different functions, and you can write by using a generics, you can write a general function for everything, like the same function used for different data types like integer, string, or different whatever data type you want to pass. So it's used normally p in generics, and we can like understand more when we are implementing that thing. So object pool, this is now we are passing it, we will discuss it later. And delegates, yeah, they are like ask you about delegates. Delegates are like function pointers. They have a reference about what are the functions are going to like call. Delegate in short, it's a meaning. If you go for general English, delegate means you appoint someone to do something, and delegate same as like delegate has a method reference. Like if you want to call a five method, so you make a delegate. That delegate call a five method, whatever sequence you assign it. And delegate has other functionality as well. We can implement when delegate. It will be easy to understand it. Now we move forward to what is the base class in .NET, which all the it's like they want to know about that if you have a knowledge or not about .NET, so they can ask you like what is the base class of all the classes, so you can say that system.object is the base class of all the classes. So difference between method overloading and overriding. It's a polymorphism concept, and it's a object oriented main concept. In polymorphisms, we generally means that poly means many and morphism means form, many forms. So in polymorphism, what actually happens, there is static and dynamic. In static, we use overloading in the same class with overloading. I already explained it. Like same function with different parameters, number of parameters are changed, and the type of parameters are changed. In overriding, like we define some method in the base class, but we are overriding that method in the child class, like we are modifying that method. And if it calls from the base class, the functionality is different. If it's called from the um, inherited class, the functionality is different. So let us suppose if I write a general method in the base class, like play this sound, and when we are like using a class of guitar, and we like change that method, modify that method, and say the guitar sound is playing. So when we make an object from that child class, so the method is called the guitar sound is playing. But if we call the method from base class object, if we like make object from base class, so the general sound is playing method will call. So these are the method overloading and overriding, the main concept of the programming. It will be very helpful if you use it and try to use it a practical life, so it will be like helpful for you to explain anyone. All right, what are the different ways a method can be overloaded? I already explained it. And what can you specify the accessibility modifier for method inside the interface? We don't need to go for it. How can we set the class to be inherited but prevent the method from being overridden? Um, Seal class we use it, so seal keyword can be used for it. All right, what happen if the inherited interface have conflicting method names? Um, Past these things, it's not useful for me. uh, Nullable types, it will be helpful for you in programming and in practical life. Nullable types like hold the null value in your object type as well. Like if we cannot pass the null value in integer, in any integer can hold 0 or 100, 1,000, but it cannot hold. But when it make a nullable type, that integer, so it can hold a null as well. So we use nullable, like when we are making nullable type, so we use a question mark with it. All right, how can we create an array with a non-default value? All right, leave this thing. We will discuss it later. What is different between is and as operator? This is really very important because this question is asked me about some places 3 to 4 times. You should know about it. As operator is used for casting object from different types, and is object is used for checking the compatibility of the object, like given type. And like when we use is now, you can easily understand that why we are using is. And as is always use for casting. We are multicast delegate, we are not discussing indexer, we are not discussing here, and throw ex we are not discussing. Yeah, design patterns singleton. It's normally they ask you about like how many design patterns do you use ever. So normally singleton is used for like making only one instance, and you cannot create a multiple instance of that class, that object. So if one object is created, unless the object is destroyed, you cannot make a new instance of that class. So the one instance is running all the time. And we use private static constructor for making that. All right, now move forward, and we all as well use a singleton here. It's also like asks me about manage and unmanaged code. C sharp is a managed code because it's use CLR, common language runtime, for compiling. So that's why it's called a managed code, and C is unmanaged code. Right now it's enough for right now. We can discuss more things later. All right. Thank you for everyone for giving me your precious time. Thank you.